So, welcome back to SIHH Live, this TV studio where every day we meet the people and hear the ideas at the center of Haute Horlogerie. For this session, my guest is the new CEO of Maison Romain Jerome. Please welcome Marco Tedeschi. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
When I say the new CEO, I really mean it, because you started the job literally yesterday with the opening of the SIHH. So this may actually be your first interview. How does it feel to be in the new job?
It's amazing. Actually, it's even my first time in SIHH. I've never been there before. And it's very interesting to see a new dimension of our industry with such a huge organization and high-level standards.
Are you happy with the first contacts with clients and distributors and journalists?
Yeah, I was lucky. Yesterday was my first day, but 80% of the meeting I had were with people I used to work with. So I was already in my comfort zone.
It makes a smooth entry into the job. I would like to talk about three things. First, about yourself, so that you're maybe a bit better known. Then about products, and then about strategy and markets, if you don't mind. So maybe to start, give us a bit of a background on you.
Okay. So I must say today I'm the happiest man on earth because I live off my passion for watchmaking. And this passion started at a very early age, at the age of 8 years old. My father has been in the business for over 40 years. And on Saturdays, he was taking me to his boutique in Geneva. And he used to give me a mission because, 10 hours in the boutique, it could be a little bit long for a young kid. And I was in charge to rewind the watches. So, of course, I had in my hands the most beautiful pieces for the most prestigious brands. And I was asking myself, how come such a small item can actually give the time? And I always wanted to understand how it was working. And later on, this is why I decided to become a micro-technical engineer and to design watches.
So you are coming to a company that has been without a CEO for a few months. You're young, but you have 10 years of experience already in the industry, working particularly at Hublot. What in your career so far makes you the right person to lead Romain Jerome?
I think the brand is quite young as well. It has been very successful in the past few years with innovation in terms of product and marketing. For example, the Titanic DNA, and the brand itself has always been a brand I was looking for. What they were doing. I thought it was really interesting design. There is no other brand in the industry that has a similar design, and I was following what they used to do, and this was one of the main reasons why I've decided to join the company as a CEO, because of the product, and I believe there is even much more to do, and this is what I'm going to start with in the coming weeks.
What in your views are the main strengths of the brand?
The product, for sure. As I said, it's a very unusual product. We have something different from the others. But also, the brand has a lot of partnership through the collection they established in the past. We are launching now at SIHH a new collaboration with Spider-Man and Marvel.
I'm going to talk about it in a second, yes.
Yes, and this will bring a lot of new opportunities for the future.
Every brand in Haute Horlogerie and beyond has been asking themselves the same question for many years, and it is, there are new generations coming to the market, millennials, and they seem to have a different relationship to products and to luxury in particular, different relationship to consumption, to the way they share information, to the way they look at the values of a brand and they relate to it. You are actually the first millennial CEO of brand of Haute Horlogerie. So how do you look at your cohort?
I'm fascinated about new technology. This is something I really like. I follow on a daily basis. And I believe today, as you mentioned, our industry is in a transition period. We are going to see a lot of changes. Some of the most important brands already started, but I really believe we need a new way to talk to this new generation. And this is also one of the axes of development I want to work on with Romain Jerome. And I hope my young age will be an asset in that sense.
So you're 32, right?
I'm 32, yes.
So is it just a question of moving from traditional communication to social media, etc., or is it really a question of readapting the value proposition?
Yeah, I think social media is a way to communicate, but brand must not forget that the main thing is the communication itself. So we are using new channels to communicate, but we should not focus on the channel itself. We should focus on the conversation, and this is what I want to do with my clients.
Engaging a conversation, of course, means being open, being available. That's not something that traditional brands have done very well in the past.
Yeah, but things are changing, and I think brand must adapt to the new generation of clients.
Okay, let's talk a moment about products, because you're launching the new watch you just mentioned here at SALON in a limited edition, I understand, 75 pieces.
Yes.
And you developed it in collaboration with Marvel Comics, the American comics publisher. And as you said before, it's inspired by Spider-Man. I think we have a picture of that watch that we should put on the screen. We will talk about the collaboration in a second, but tell us first about this watch.
Okay, so this is a Skylab watch, Skylab Spider-Man. It's a limited edition of 75 pieces with Romain Jerome design movement, which is a skeleton mechanical movement. Very interesting because of its straight line design with an applique field of lacquer with the spider of Spider-Man. It has also the design of the net engraved on the case back glass, and this gives a lot of three-dimensional effect to the watch. I really believe this is a really nice product. I discovered it recently when I joined, actually, but I feel very comfortable about it and about the partnership and the future of this collaboration.
Who do you think is the typical client for a watch like this?
The client for a watch like this is definitely a trendsetter, somebody that follows the design, that doesn't like to buy the watch his father used to buy for himself, and that wants something different. Being different is very important. Being unique is something that the client. This is the feedback we are getting from the clients. They want something unique. This is definitely not a first watch, but this is maybe a second or third option for somebody that loves watches.
So this is the first collaboration with Marvel, which means that if you think of the whole stable of action heroes they have, there is a potential for many other collaborations, right?
Actually,
Iron Man, Thor, and so on.
Absolutely, but I'm looking even further. Marvel is owned by Disney.
Absolutely.
So of course, the possibilities are endless.
We can end up in Star Wars and having, maybe something around that. But leaving it aside and going to the principle of collaboration with brands of the imaginary, there are many different possibilities there. And also in the past, Romain Jerome has collaborated with Nintendo for Super Mario, has worked on King Kong and other things. So what are the strengths? What does a collaboration of this nature really bring to the brand? And who brings what?
Okay, so I really believe those collaborations are based on icons, and it remembers people. It remembers their childhood. Talking about Super Mario, I used to play myself at Super Mario when I was a kid, so the product talks to me. And we can see that now the collaboration, like Space Invader, for example, are really a trend at the moment. It's something that came back. The first game from the 80s and so on. So it had a lot of fun, of course, as well. And, in this world, we all need fun today.
Is there a risk also in such collaborations? I mean, Spider-Man is a global brand, has been for generations. People have grown up reading Spider-Man comics and watching Spider-Man movies. Is there a reason that this is going to be, considered the Spider-Man watch rather than the Romain Jerome watch? I mean, can one brand overshadow the other?
No, I don't think so. We use the image of Spider-Man, of Marvel, to enlarge our community. But this has been designed together in partnership. I think the first thing you see when you look at the watch from far is that it is a Romain Jerome watch. And then when you get closer, you will see the spider of Spider-Man. So the DNA of the brand is there, and this is the most important. If tomorrow, we go with a square watch because the partner wants to have something square, it won't work. It has to incorporate both of the world in the product.
So Romain Jerome has also had other bold approaches and avant-gardistic approaches in other collections, for example, the DNA collection. The Titanic watch with metals from the same shipyard that built the Titanic, or the Moon watch with moon dust. Is that going to continue?
Oh, definitely. For me, as I told you at the beginning, this is really the products that made me love the brand. And after discussing with people for yesterday, actually, this is also for most of the people what represent the brand the most. So we are going, of course, to capitalize on that. I'm sure you know that next year we are going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the man on the moon. So of course we have a lot of ideas of new product around this universe,
which we will discuss next year here. So in announcing your nomination, the board wrote in the press release that they were tasking you with steering the international development of the brand. How do you see that development happening? So what's your priority target?
Yeah, today we have two major markets. It is Mexico and Japan. Those are the two markets where the brand is really strong. And then I want to develop markets where we already are, but where we can do much more. I will, of course, start with Dubai, because in my previous experience I used to handle the Middle East, and I really believe Dubai is one of the major cities in the world today for the watchmaking business. So we have the relationship there, and that is something quite easy for me. And then, through my past experience as well, I had the chance to travel in many countries in the world, in Asia, in Latin America, in the US. So I will reactivate some old connection and to engage them to help us to grow the brand.
Excellent. Mr. Tedeschi, thank you for coming to SIHH Live.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And good luck for the salon and for your new job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the next session starts at 11:30, and the guest will be MBNF, which will be presenting one of their special projects. Thank you. See you later.